Well, it's not really what I want to be talking about, but it kind of does need to be talked about. Deforest Buckner, after sustaining an ankle injury in Week 2 against the Green Bay Packers, he is now placed on IR. Now, IR nowadays means that a player is eligible to come back in 4 weeks. Teams can place players on full season IR, like they did with Juju Brents, and they can't come back. So, DeForest Buckner placed on IR. Big loss for this already struggling Colts defense. Let me just throw out a couple numbers to you. All right, the Colts are 31st in total yards per game given up. 400 yards per game. The Colts are 32nd in run defense. 237 yards per game given up on the ground in 2 games. 474 total yards. 5.1 yards per carry given up by this defense. Even if DeForest Buckner was in, this defense is still bad. And for what it's worth, I don't put much stock into the stat, but the Colts are 8th in passing yards per game with 163.0 per game. I don't put much into that because you played Malik Willis and the Packers just ran all over you. C.J. Stroud passed for like 274 yards against you. It averaged out to be 163. So that isn't as telling as how bad this defense is. They're still one of the worst defenses in the league. Bottom quartile of the league. Back to DeForest Buckner. This is a big loss. He's missed 1 game while being in a Colts uniform since 2020, and that was in 2020. He missed that game. He's missed 2 games his entire career. Out of 133 potential starts that this man could start, he's started 131 times. He has been extremely durable. This is a huge loss for this Colts defense. Been an anchor to this defense, been one of the better players for this defense. He's coming into his 9th season. He is the defense. And we lost him for 4 games. I think that this is going to be a massive loss. If you look at our schedule, the next 4, we've got the Bears, Steelers, at Jacksonville, and at Tennessee. So you look at the running backs, Najee Harris for the Steelers. The Bears offense isn't great. I'll get into that in another video. Then you look at the Titans and the Jaguars. The Titans and Jaguars have both kind of been struggling. Both of those teams are 0-2. So you're looking for DeForest Buckner to come back against the Miami Dolphins, who they've actually placed a player of their own on IR, that being Tua Tagovailoa, who will miss some time as well. That could be an interesting matchup. Tua Tagovailoa coming back against DeForest Buckner. Unfortunately, like I said, the defense wasn't great with them. They haven't been great. And they're also missing Laiatu Latu, who missed practice today, Wednesday. Laiatu Latu, he had a hip injury against the Green Bay Packers that took him out of the game. And then Julian Blackmon, he did return to practice this week after missing last week against the Green Bay Packers. That would be a big addition. One stat that is kind of alarming to me, because you were supposed to have a solid front 7, and I've said it numerous times. The Colts were supposed to be really good in that front 7. That D-line was supposed to be really good. The linebackers were supposed to be really good, and they haven't been. Nick Cross leads the NFL in tackles. Our safety leads the league in tackles with 29 tackles. That's not good for the Colts defense. Like, for Nick Cross, congratulations, bro. That's good on you, bro. No disrespect to Nick Cross whatsoever, but he should not be making these tackles. It should be guys like Zaire Franklin, and I know he got injured, but DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart, those guys are the guys that need to be making these tackles. Unfortunately, they're not, and they're giving up 8-9 yards per carry to guys like Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon, he didn't have a great game against the Chicago Bears. Like, he had under 60 yards. So you go from 159 yards against the Colts and then to under 60 yards against the Chicago Bears. I'm not sure exactly what he had. I know he didn't have a high number. But that just goes to show how how poor the Colts' run game has been. And again, you look at a guy like Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley is just like, we're going to continue doing what we do. He wants to outplay you. He doesn't want to out-scheme you. He wants to outplay you. My guys are better than your guys, and we're going to show it, and we're going to go, do the same thing every single time because that's what we do. And I can respect that. That's cool. That's, I guess. Look, in today's game, you've got so many different things that you can do as an offense in order to be successful. You can put players into positions to be successful. Even though you've got really good players on the opposite side of the ball who can make plays. Like if you have an offensive coach who can put players into places to where they can succeed, it doesn't matter what if they know what you're going to run, it doesn't matter what you're in. They can exploit it. Like there are plays that you can run against this particular defense that will be successful based on the way it's ran. And I'm not saying there's going to be no way that Gus Bradley's going to be like, oh, schematically we need to change. No, he's not going to do that. He's not going to change. I honestly think he just needs to go. And I might make a video about it later. I don't know who you replace Gus Bradley with, because all of the guys in his staff, his coordinators, and his guys are his guys. So there's really nobody on the coaching staff that can replace Gus Bradley at this point. So we're just going to have to deal with it the entire season and hope that our guys can play better than the offense can play. That's it. But this has been a very, very disastrous start for the Colts defense, and a part of the team that a lot of people around Indianapolis and really around the league thought the Colts would be good in was the defense. They thought the defense was going to be good, going to be better, and it hasn't been. And the offense hasn't been good, and you haven't been given help to your offense. The defense needs to do their part, and not and give the ball back to their offense in short yardage situations because of a turnover or something. And you haven't really created those turnovers. A lot of times in the NFL, the team that wins the turnover battle is that team that usually wins the game. And the Colts, they have not been able to create turnovers. Not a single turnover against the Texans and against the Packers. Not a single sack against the Green Bay Packers. They had 4 sacks against the Texans because you were rushing the quarterback, you were playing the run on the way to the quarterback, which, okay, so you got to the quarterback. In this game, you could not stop the run. You knew that the Packers were going to run, yet you could not stop the run. I don't think DeForest Buckner being out is going to, it's going to hurt us for sure, but we were already bad. The defense was already bad, and it just got a lot worse. So I don't know where you go from here. I really don't. I guess luckily we signed a guy in the offseason, Roquan Davis. Let's see what he can do. He ain't no DeForest Buckner. Latu injured. This is a tough start for the Indianapolis Colts defense specifically. The offense, they're going to have their growing pains. We'll see how they go. But the defense was the side of the ball that I just had the most expectations for. And so far, they've been bad. They've been real bad. That's all I've got. Hopefully, the Indianapolis Colts defense can figure it out, because at this point, one of the worst defenses in the league, not good. What do you guys think? Should the Colts fire Gus Bradley? Does he need to go? Should we just settle down? Am I overreacting? Let me know. I'm the big dog named Austin. Go Colts.